One large egg packs about 6 grams of complete protein, vitamin D, choline, and antioxidants, and roughly 186 milligrams of cholesterol concentrated in the yolk. That contradiction has turned breakfast into a battleground, nutritional powerhouse or heart risk. Here's the problem in plain terms. Eggs give big nutritional bang for very little money, but headlines and older dietary advice have left people confused about whether eating them raises heart disease risk. The solution isn't a one-size-fits-all edict. It's understanding the science, the context, and simple daily choices. In the next few minutes, first I'll show you what large clinical studies and recent guidelines actually say about dietary cholesterol, who should be cautious, think diabetes, genetic cholesterol issues, and which cooking and pairing choices amplify benefits or reduce risk. You'll get clear rules you can use tomorrow morning. How many eggs per week may be safe for most people, when to favor whites over yolks, and a quick swap that cuts saturated fat without losing flavor. Stick with me to the end. First, I'll give a straight, practical plan you can follow and one question to ask your doctor to personalize this advice. Let's clear the fog and decide if eggs belong on your plate. 1. The superfood profile. Eggs are the gold standard for protein, containing choline for brain health and lutein for eyesight protection. A large egg supplies roughly 6 grams of complete, highly digestible protein, and it brings more than just muscle-building amino acids to the table. Rich sources of choline, an essential nutrient that supports neurotransmitter synthesis and cell membrane integrity, are hard to beat, and eggs deliver lutein and zeaxanthin, pigments that concentrate in the macula and help protect eyesight. At the same time, eggs contain dietary cholesterol, which has sparked debate about heart risk. For most people, the effect on blood cholesterol is small, but in some individuals, a measurable rise in LDL can occur. This contrast, potent nutritional benefits versus potential cardiovascular effects in susceptible people, is the practical problem to navigate. The practical solution is not all or nothing. Use whole eggs when you need the brain and eye benefits. Rely on egg whites or reduced yolk portions if a clinician has advised strict cholesterol limits. Choose gentle cooking methods, poached or boiled instead of deep-fried, and pair eggs with fiber-rich vegetables and whole grains to create meals that emphasize nutrient synergy rather than added saturated fat. Small behavioral changes make a big difference. For example, swapping a butter-fried breakfast for a spinach and tomato omelet cooked with a drizzle of olive oil preserves lutein and choline while limiting added saturated fat from cooking. Details matter because the nutrients in eggs behave differently in the body. Choline is required for acetylcholine production, so it supports memory and attention, and it's integral to phosphatidylcholine, which helps maintain cell membranes and liver lipid transport. Pregnant and nursing people especially rely on dietary choline for fetal and infant brain development. Lutein and zeaxanthin accumulate in the retina, where they filter high-energy blue light and act as antioxidants, and the fat in eggs improves their absorption compared with many plant-only sources. Protein from eggs is complete and highly bioavailable, supporting repair and satiety. That's why athletes and people trying to manage weight often include eggs in their meals. But remember, how eggs are prepared and what they're served with often determines whether a meal is heart-friendly or heart-hazardous. Integrate these facts into everyday choices. Hard-boiled eggs make a portable, nutrient-dense snack. A 2-egg vegetable scramble alongside whole-grain toast is a balanced breakfast, and swapping 1 egg yolk for 2 whites in a recipe preserves some protein while cutting cholesterol. Consider enriched options. Omega-3, fortified eggs can add heart-healthy fats, and inspect labels if that matters to you. If you have high LDL, metabolic syndrome, or a family history of premature cardiovascular disease, discuss personalized limits with your clinician and monitor blood lipids after dietary changes. Try a simple experiment. Replace a high-saturated fat breakfast with an egg and vegetable dish for a few weeks and see how you feel, and consider getting a lipid check to see the real impact. 2. The cholesterol controversy. Addressing the decades-old fear that dietary cholesterol in eggs clogs arteries and causes heart disease. For many people, the image of a yolk equals a clogged artery, and that fear has stuck despite evolving science. A large egg yolk contains about 186 milligrams of cholesterol, which is why eggs were singled out early on as a dietary villain. Yet consuming cholesterol in food does not translate directly into clogged arteries for everyone. The body's cholesterol balance is tightly regulated. When dietary cholesterol goes up, the liver usually compensates by producing less. Short sentence. This means the simple equation, egg cholesterol equals heart disease, is too simplistic. Recent research and guideline shifts have reframed the problem. Dietary cholesterol has a smaller effect on blood cholesterol levels than once thought, while saturated and trans fats play a larger role in raising LDL cholesterol. Many population studies show that, for most healthy adults, eating an egg a day is not associated with a higher risk of heart disease. Still, evidence is not uniform across all groups. People with certain metabolic conditions, especially some individuals with diabetes, have shown mixed results in studies, so blanket reassurance is not appropriate for everyone. Individual response matters. Some people are hyperresponders and will experience a more pronounced rise in blood cholesterol after eating cholesterol-rich foods. Others barely change. Importantly, not all increases in blood cholesterol are equally risky. Eggs can raise both LDL and HDL cholesterol, and some research suggests dietary cholesterol tends to shift LDL particle size toward larger, less dense particles that may be less atherogenic. But the more reliable markers of cardiovascular risk are ApoB and LDL particle number, not dietary cholesterol intake alone. Example: a person with normal ApoB and a healthy lifestyle who eats an egg daily will likely see little harm, while someone with high ApoB and multiple risk factors should take a more cautious approach. Practical context beats fear. How eggs are prepared and what they're eaten with often matters more than the yolk itself. Frying eggs in butter and serving them with processed meats and refined carbs creates a meal high in saturated fats and sodium. Those increase cardiovascular risk. Poached eggs atop sautéed greens or paired with whole grains and vegetables build a nutrient-dense meal with favorable effects on overall diet quality. For those monitoring cholesterol closely, simple strategies work. Use mostly egg whites, limit added saturated fats, and prioritize dietary patterns shown to reduce heart disease risk, such as Mediterranean-style eating. If you're unsure where you fall on the response spectrum, get measurable data. Ask your clinician about a fasting lipid panel and, if warranted, ApoB or LDL particle testing to see the real effect of dietary choices on your risk profile. Try a short personal experiment. Track egg intake while monitoring lipids under medical supervision, and make adjustments based on results rather than assumptions. Small, evidence-based changes in how eggs are consumed can preserve their nutritional benefits while minimizing potential risk. 3. Modern science verdict. Explanation that for 70% of people, eggs do not raise bad cholesterol, LDL, but actually improve good cholesterol, HDL. People worry that the cholesterol in an egg will translate directly into clogged arteries. That fear is understandable. A single large egg contains about 186 milligrams of dietary cholesterol, and for decades cholesterol and heart disease were spoken of almost synonymously. Yet modern clinical trials and population studies tell a different story. For roughly 70% of people, eating eggs does not raise low-density lipoprotein, LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, and in fact tends to increase high-density lipoprotein, HDL, the protective cholesterol. This flips the simple cholesterol equals bad narrative on its head. Mechanisms help explain why. Dietary cholesterol has a smaller effect on blood cholesterol than many expect. The liver adjusts its own cholesterol production when intake changes. Eggs also deliver nutrients that can improve lipoprotein quality. Choline supports cell membranes and lipid transport, while lutein and zeaxanthin are antioxidants that appear in blood and tissues. Eating eggs has been shown to boost HDL levels and enhance HDL function, meaning HDL becomes better at reverse cholesterol transport, the process that removes cholesterol from artery walls and ferries it back to the liver. At the same time, when any changes in LDL occur for most people, they frequently involve a shift toward larger, more buoyant LDL particles, which are less atherogenic than small, dense LDL particles. Not everyone responds the same way. About 30% of people are hyperresponders and may see a rise in both LDL and HDL after increasing dietary cholesterol. Even then, the LDL/HDL ratio often stays similar because HDL goes up alongside LDL. For people with genetic disorders that already drive very high LDL, familial hypercholesterolemia, or with other strong cardiovascular risks, eggs can still be a concern. Individualized monitoring matters. Real-world examples. Swapping a sugar-laden cereal for a 2-egg omelet frequently raises satiety and HDL without pushing LDL dangerously high, particularly when the rest of the diet is low in saturated fat. Conversely, eggs served with large amounts of processed meats and buttered toast produce a very different metabolic context, one more likely to raise LDL because saturated fat, not egg cholesterol, is the stronger driver of harmful changes. Practical integration is straightforward. Use eggs as part of an overall heart-healthy pattern. Pair them with vegetables, whole grains, and minimal processed meats. Prefer boiling, poaching, or light scrambling to frying in large amounts of butter. Get a baseline lipid panel before making major dietary changes, then recheck after a few months if you increase egg intake. Finally, consult your healthcare provider if you have known cholesterol disorders. Personalized medicine beats blanket rules. If you're curious whether eggs fit your metabolism, test and measure. Try adding 1 egg a day for a few months. Watch your HDL, LDL, and LDL particle considerations, and discuss the results with your clinician. That simple experiment will tell you far more than fear ever could. 4. Real risks. The danger of salmonella in raw eggs and why frying them in unhealthy oils negates their benefits. Raw eggs can harbor Salmonella enteritidis both on their shells and, in some cases, inside the yolk and white, which makes recipes that use uncooked eggs a genuine food safety concern. People working with raw eggs increase the chance of cross-contamination when they crack them on the rim of a bowl, touch other surfaces, or leave them at room temperature. Those most at risk include infants, older adults, pregnant people, and anyone with a weakened immune system. For them, a single exposure can lead to severe illness rather than a mild stomach bug. Choose clear solutions to lower that risk. Use pasteurized eggs when a recipe calls for raw yolks or whites, or swap in commercial pasteurized egg products for homemade mayonnaise, Caesar dressing, or traditional tiramisu. Cook eggs until both whites and yolks are firm to kill Salmonella reliably. Refrigerate eggs promptly, discard any with cracked shells, and always wash hands and utensils after handling raw eggs. These are simple, concrete steps that make egg consumption far safer without eliminating their nutritional value. Frying eggs in unhealthy oils can undo many of the benefits eggs offer, because the oil you choose changes what you actually eat. Highly processed vegetable oils and fats that contain trans fats raise LDL cholesterol and promote inflammation. Repeatedly heating oils, common in restaurants and home frying when oil is reused, creates oxidized lipids and other harmful compounds that are linked to worse heart health outcomes. Even butter and lard contribute saturated fat. They taste good but can blunt the positive effects of egg protein, vitamins, and healthy unsaturated fats. There are practical swaps and cooking techniques that preserve eggs' nutrients while minimizing harm. Poaching and boiling require no added fats and retain most of the egg's vitamins and protein. If you prefer fried eggs, use a small amount of a stable, monounsaturated oil such as high-quality olive oil or avocado oil and avoid reusing oil. For a quick example, a sunny side up cooked gently in a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil or steamed in a non-stick pan keeps the yolk intact and reduces added oxidized fats. For raw egg recipes like homemade Caesar or certain custards, using pasteurized eggs avoids salmonella risks without changing flavor appreciably. Balance is the key when integrating eggs into a heart-healthy diet. Keep portions reasonable, prioritize safer preparation methods, and pair eggs with vegetables, whole grains, and unsaturated fats rather than processed meats and deep-fried sides. Start by swapping raw egg recipes for pasteurized versions. Cook eggs thoroughly when serving vulnerable people, and replace heavily refined frying oils with olive or avocado oil, or skip frying entirely. Take that small step today. Check if your eggs are pasteurized, clean your prep surfaces, and choose your cooking fat with health in mind. 5. Yolk versus white. The dilemma. Whites are low-calorie protein, but throwing away the yolk means losing 90% of the vitamins and minerals. Egg whites supply nearly pure protein and almost no fat, while the yolk concentrates most of the egg's micronutrients and cholesterol. Discard it, and you lose roughly 90% of the vitamins and minerals concentrated there. That trade-off is the core of the dilemma many face. A low-calorie, low-fat egg white omelet might look like a health win, but it strips away nutrients like choline, lutein, zeaxanthin, vitamin D, B12, and selenium that are mostly in the yolk. Real-life examples show this clearly. Athletes and bodybuilders often use whites to hit protein targets without extra calories, whereas people focused on brain health or eye protection lean toward eating whole eggs because of the yolk's unique nutrient mix. One practical solution is a mixed approach that preserves benefits while managing perceived risk. Use whole eggs when you want nutrient density, satiety, and flavor. Use extra whites to boost protein without many additional calories or fat. Try a quick combo: 1 whole egg plus 2 egg whites scrambled with spinach and tomatoes. It's a small change, but it restores key micronutrients while keeping overall calories moderated. Small swaps like this also make it easier to stick with balanced eating long-term. Digging into details helps make informed choices. The yolk is the delivery system for fat-soluble vitamins and for important compounds like choline, which supports liver function and neural development, something clinicians often point out for people who are pregnant or planning pregnancy. Lutein and zeaxanthin in the yolk concentrate in the retina and are linked to eye health. Whites provide high-quality albumin protein and are convenient for lowering total calorie and fat intake. Also note that raw egg whites contain avidin, which binds biotin. Cooking deactivates avidin, so cooked whites are safe and nutritionally reliable. For cardiovascular concerns, evidence shows dietary cholesterol affects blood lipids variably across individuals. Saturated fat plays a larger role in raising LDL cholesterol. People with familial hypercholesterolemia or consistently high LDL may be advised to limit yolk intake. That's a clinical decision, not a one-size-fits-all rule. Integrate these facts into habits you can keep. If your lipid profile is normal, rotate whole eggs a few times per week and whites on days when you need lean protein. If you're monitoring cholesterol, keep track of how many yolks you eat and discuss targets with your clinician. Cook eggs with minimal added saturated fat, poached, boiled, or lightly pan-scrambled in olive oil or a small amount of butter, and pair them with vegetables to add fiber and balance. Remember that the fat in the yolk helps absorb fat-soluble vitamins from other foods, so if you regularly skip yolks, include a small healthy fat elsewhere in the meal. Decide by combining personal goals and evidence. Prioritize whole eggs when you want micronutrients, eat whites when you want low-calorie protein, and tailor the mix based on your blood work and risk factors. Talk to a healthcare provider about your cholesterol numbers. Try a week of alternating whole eggs and whites-only breakfasts, and note changes in energy, satiety, and lab results. Small experiments plus medical guidance will reveal whether the yolk is a crucial ally for you or a food to limit. 6. Safe dosage. Current studies suggest up to 3 eggs a day is safe for healthy adults, but diabetics should limit intake. A single large egg contains about 186 milligrams of cholesterol and typically provides roughly 6 to 7 grams of high-quality protein, making it a compact source of nutrients. Current studies suggest that up to 3 eggs a day can be considered safe for most healthy adults when consumed as part of an overall diet low in saturated fat and rich in vegetables, whole grains, and unsaturated fats. Yet the picture changes for people with metabolic disease. Observational research has linked higher egg consumption with increased cardiovascular risk in some individuals with diabetes, so extra caution is warranted. Not everyone's blood lipids respond the same way to dietary cholesterol. Some people are hyperresponders. Their LDL and total cholesterol rise more noticeably, while others show little change. Genetics, baseline LDL levels, and the rest of the diet all shape that response. Cooking choices matter as well. 3 eggs fried in butter with bacon is not the same cardiovascular load as 3 poached eggs served with sautéed spinach and whole grain toast. Added saturated fats and processed meats amplify potential harms. Focus on practical steps to balance benefit and risk. For healthy adults who choose up to 3 eggs daily, prioritize preparations that don't add saturated fat. Boiling, poaching, or quick microwaved omelets are smart options. For people with diabetes or elevated LDL, reduce yolk frequency and emphasize egg whites or plant proteins instead. For example, Make a breakfast scramble with 1 whole egg plus 2 egg whites and plenty of vegetables, or substitute legumes or Greek yogurt on days you skip yolks. Pairing eggs with fiber-rich foods, oats, beans, vegetables, blunts post-meal glucose and supports heart health. Also, avoid combining eggs with processed meats and heavy cheeses on a regular basis. Integrate eggs into a broader, heart-conscious eating pattern rather than treating them in isolation. Track how many whole eggs you eat in a week and distribute them among meals that are low in saturated fat. If you have diabetes or a history of cardiovascular disease, discuss personalized limits with your clinician or a registered dietitian and monitor your lipid profile and glycemic control while making dietary changes. Small swaps, more egg whites, more vegetables, fewer fried accompaniments. Preserve eggs' nutritional value while reducing potential risk. Decide intentionally. If you love eggs, keep them but be strategic. Choose cooking methods that limit added fats, include plant-based proteins regularly, and check biomarkers with your healthcare team to ensure your personal response stays within a safe range. Eggs are a nutritional powerhouse. High-quality protein, choline for your brain, lutein and zeaxanthin for your eyes, and a bunch of B vitamins. Yet the yolk's cholesterol means they're not a blanket. Eat as much as you want. Superfood for everyone. The problem isn't the egg itself so much as headline panic and how we cook and combine it. Frying in butter, piling it on bacon, or eating it alongside lots of saturated fat changes the story. So what should you do? For most healthy people, 1 egg a day fits comfortably into a heart-healthy diet. Focus on preparation, poached, boiled, or lightly scrambled with minimal butter. Cut back on processed meats, and prioritize whole foods and vegetables. If you have diabetes, a family history of high cholesterol, or genetic conditions like familial hypercholesterolemia, talk to your doctor and check your lipid panel before making eggs a daily habit. Quick recap of key points. Eggs equals dense nutrients. Yolk contains cholesterol, but dietary cholesterol usually has modest effects on blood cholesterol for most people. Saturated fat and overall diet matter more. Cooking method and individual risk change the balance. You don't have to choose superfood or heart killer. Think context, portion, and personal risk. If this cleared things up for you, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments how you eat your eggs. Next time we'll test different cooking methods and show which keep the most nutrients while being heart-friendly. Don't miss it.